I'm Jackie LaFaro, Executive Director of the Hamptons DocFest, and I welcome you all to the 2020 program. Each year, we honor a pioneer in the world of nonfiction film who has made important and lasting contributions. For 2020, the Pennebaker Career Achievement Award is going to Frederick Wiseman, who at age 90 has produced 43 acclaimed films. Wiseman's portfolio is rich with intimate, deeply researched portraits of people and places. For the festival, we're bringing you his newest film, City Hall, a reflection on democracy. Wiseman said about the film, "I made City Hall to illustrate why government is necessary for people to successfully live together." I'm happy now to introduce you to Fred himself, who will say a few words accepting the award, followed by a brief overview given by Josh Siegel, who is the curator of the film department at MoMA in New York City.
I'm very pleased that City Hall is being shown at the Hampton Documentary Festival and honored to receive the Pennebaker Award. I didn't know Penny well, but we used to meet at film festivals and talk, and I was always an admirer of his work, and he was a pioneer in the kind of filmmaking that I do. And I've always been grateful for his work in courage and leading the way. City Hall was shot in the fall and early winter of 2018, and again for a few weeks in the fall of 2019, for a total of 10 weeks shooting at City Hall. And in the course of that time, I accumulated about 110 hours of film, and it took me around 10 months to edit the film. When I start, I have no idea what the themes or the point of view will be. The shooting is the research, and the editing is the intensive study of the material in order to make the effort is to make some kind of coherent form out of the 104 hours of rushes. Thank you for coming to see the film, and I hope you enjoy it. And I'm sorry I can't be there to answer your questions.
Hi, I'm Josh Siegel. I'm a film curator at the Museum of Modern Art and the co-author of a book on Frederick Wiseman. I apologize for the state of my office. I know I look like one of the Collier brothers, and I'm about to be crushed by the books behind me, but I'm at work on a book of my own, and the research is piling up, ominously, I should say. I'm thrilled to celebrate the work of Frederick Wiseman with all of you. Fred, who I've known for more than a decade, has the best bullshit detector of anyone I know. He knows when he's being played, he knows when he's being conned. And the question that always arises about his work is, don't people behave differently in front of the camera when they know they're being filmed? And a perfect rejoinder to this is a scene that has haunted me for much of this summer as we witness countless images of police brutality, countless images of violence on black bodies. It's a scene that takes place in a film he made in 1968 called Law and Order, in which he followed a police department and its activities over the course of several weeks. At one point, he was with a vice squad and witnessed and bore witness to and filmed a prostitute who was allegedly resisting arrest and who was being strangled by an undercover police officer. Why was he doing this knowing that he was on camera? Because he didn't think he was doing anything wrong. He had been trained perhaps to subdue someone, even a black woman, when she was resisting arrest. He had been trained to exert his authority in ways that he felt were right. We, as observers, are perhaps, and one might assume, horrified by this scene. But it's important to know that we can't necessarily understand human behavior, and we can't understand what motivates people. And this is what differentiates Fred's work from everyone else's. There's no one to tell us how to think or what to feel. There's no wallpaper of music to convey emotion. There are no talking heads to synthesize things or to tell us, to right wrongs or to uncover corruption and scandalous behavior. There is no voiceover to offer any kind of Walter Cronkite-like reassurance that all of the problems and complexities that arise will be neatly tidied up by the end of the film. If anything, all of the films leave these problems inconclusive. We have to marshal our imagination and our compassion and our humility to read what we see in the world. And the dilemmas that Fred poses in his films, all of his films, whether they're moral or political or philosophical or legal or medical or aesthetic or religious, technological, they're as urgent and vexing as ever. It's amazing to think that his films never date. And the countless discriminating choices he has to make, both in the choice of scenes he's going to film, the moments and the countless meetings you'll see in City Hall, for example, that he's going to film, and the ways in which he films them, the ways in which he edits the sequences to create the inherent rhythms of sound and image, and the natural action of the creative process dictate the drama. It's a process of selection and distillation that's also expansive. It's specific, yet it's abstract. And that is one of the reasons why, as I said, his films never date. We have an opportunity to see a grand panorama of human life, of American life and the cultural life of Paris, of epic narrative and intimate portraiture, and truly a magisterial chronicle of late 20th century and early 21st century institutional and cultural life. He's been able to do this in part because he has been able to wield a lightweight 16mm camera and sync sound equipment and fast film stock to study human behavior in different situations, such as the scene that was filmed of the strangling of the prostitute that took place in a basement, and he happened to have a sun gun with him that enabled him to cast light on the scene. But his camera has turned his attention to everything from doctors to ballerinas, soldiers to factory workers, zookeepers, victims of domestic violence, corporate managers, fashion models, Benedictine monks. And I really encourage all of you to dig up all of his films and watch them in their entirety, tracing them from Titicut Follies to City Hall, because it will be one of the most rewarding artistic experiences you will have in your life. I promise you. You're about to watch a 4.5-hour film, and I also think of what Errol Morris, one of Fred's great admirers, said about long films in response to his daughter. Long films aren't boring. Boring films are boring. These films may seem long at first glance. They will go by very, very fast. You will thrill to being able to have an opportunity to watch meetings, to watch people in conversation, people in negotiation, people dodging questions, people confronting problems, and to ask yourself the questions constantly of how people are behaving towards each other and what is going on. They're not going to be answered for you. They may have no answers, but that's part of the drama of life, as we know right now as we're waiting for the outcome of this election. So please enjoy City Hall, and thanks so much for celebrating Fred Wiseman with me and us.